we're gonna go in the cupboard and get this going. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. I didn't even think about it. And then I remembered that I wrote a paper about laziness, and I feel it was very appropriate to talk about being lazy. Okay, that's alright. And I need an egg. Haven't even gone in the fridge in a while, and yeah, the eggs are, sure enough, buried by all kinds of goodies. There's my goodies. So, everything is easier if you have all your capacities. Thank God I'm not handicapped, because if I was... Anyway, so laziness. So I'm gonna grab... Oh, cool. I like when they do that at the... Okay. Those are the white ones. So I know what kind of cookies I'm making because I was at the store and found some... Alright, who cares? So get this all set up. I want to get my hands freed here. Some coffee going. Oh, right, I need some kind of a... Oh. Will that stay? Will that stay enough for a little while? I don't want to keep my eye on it. Okay, so the point about laziness is that if many people do not know that is how how communism started, was the doctor of Marx. I wouldn't have normally. Okay. Let's get this set up a little better here. Not about me, it's also about the cookies here. What was... So the doctor of Marx was sent to a French prison, and when he was in prison, he wrote about laziness because I guess he wanted to work. That's all he could think about. Get the coffee going. So he basically said that it would be better if people were a little more lazy. Okay? Because that's the source of all greed, is when people work and they think they can just keep working. And so if everybody worked only 4 weeks a year, and because, by that time everybody was really, pretty happy with machines and all that. So they were, at that time they were like, woohoo, we get all the, literally, they were talking about cognac back then. I know, everybody thinks that's like a modern thing. But no, they had the finest stuff in. And so this doctor of Marx said this. Okay, who cares? Most people who are studying this history of the world and the term, well, first of all, why would anybody need to look up laziness? I'm doing a paper about a kid who's lazy. It's a case study. He's not a kid. He's a grown adult. And I don't know what to say to him. I'm not going to say he's lazy because everybody knows what lazy means. It is a very offensive term. Look at the eggs. So what? So It's actually from, yeah, what, I mean, who cares, like, so the point is that this kid was in school and he learned something. Ooh, that's good. But then, however long later, he's still thinking about the same stupid stuff, and you have to say, well, maybe the truth is he was probably thinking about something irrelevant, but he was at the school, and it's possible. This kid learned this random ancient Greek thing called the defense of laziness. So I laid that out. That one didn't take too long to lay out. There were some other arguments in this paper that were actually quite challenging. The giant spoon. But the argument of laziness says that if you don't do anything, oh, get that going. Here's the even bigger spoon over here. If you don't do anything, then fate will determine it at any rate. You'll be okay. And I was thinking about that. I was kind of not really sure of what I need to do. We're talking, and then I realized that actually has quite a lot to do with laziness. Oh, classic. So what happened here? Okay, keep the coffee going. Turn the oven off. Well, keep the oven on. Has this happened before? Oh, this is even more apt. All right, so man, this is quite apt. Here we are. So if you don't do anything, then it's gonna happen no matter what. That's fate for you. So that's why everybody needs to be lazy, because if you don't do it, then it's gonna happen anyway. And the defense is, if you're really sick and you decide you're not gonna go to the doctor, it's fate. You're gonna get better, or you're not gonna get better. Okay. So what exactly does a doctor do that is so important or different from just going to the pharmacist and using ChatGPT and okay, so my final paper, this doesn't have anything to do with the lazy kid, was about Woebot, and this is an outpatient therapy. But Woebot is a therapist who gives you mental health advice. You can only get the Woebot app. 2 million people use it, according to 60 Minutes. They have it because, okay, so this is how you know when your butter and stuff is together. So they have it because of mental illness. Okay. So Woebot can tell you something, but what exactly does therapy do that's so special? Well, quite a bit, but that's irrelevant. Well, first of all, this lazy kid, he's so you can see that this kind of happens sometimes, but I'm really grateful to have studied this, because laziness is something that 50% of people know somebody who's lazy, and it's it's not talked about, and no matter how much I studied, I went to the library. Like, I remembered my argument that I was going to talk about. So remember, don't mix it up too much. I was at the library, and I found out the lazy argument that is the ancient Greeks and the Stoics disproved it by a lame theory, but I just thought of one that was actually good for disproving the laziness theory. Okay, what is it? And like, what are you the Supreme Court justice does that all the time. He talks to himself. If I hadn't been in the library, and these are dried cherries, and researched all this, then I would not have known about it. Well, that seems obvious. But if somebody went to the doctor and they were ill, then they would have not known about their illness. And so when I also found out about Marx, and even though everybody knows, wow, that's a lot of, yeah. So they were really lazy in the commies, and they didn't really do much other than, like, I mean, farming is pretty okay. Don't knock farming, but I will say some statistics that I learned about farming. 1/3 of people lived on farms in the U.S. in the 20s. When they, like the 30s, only 5% of people live in farms in the U.S. I could do some more cherries on that. And so what are you supposed to do? Well, the U.S. is by a long shot, by almost twofold. It's the #1 domestic producer in the U.S. In the world, and so that's cool. I guess. So what is GDP, right? That's when you're giving security to somebody else's actual production, like retail. Because that was just something that Anthony Blinken was talking about just yesterday. China produces, I don't even want to think about China. It's like, okay, wow, good job, you produce so much. Like, nobody wants that. Nobody ever wanted that. So here we are. That's white chocolate. Well, it's not. It said on the package. Who cares? It's white chocolate. And so, why would somebody support being like somebody who's lazy? I guess that's. Oh yeah, business as usual. That's one good excuse. That's just who I am. Hey, that's just Johnny. He is gonna sit in his room all day, and maybe he'll come out later. That's just Cameron. He just drops the crap on the ground and doesn't pick it up. Not even sort of remotely like me. I'm already feeling anxiety wanting to clean that up right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm not feeling anxiety about it, but I am. I'm charting my course around it. So how did the ancient Stoics disprove it? What was their response to that? See, here I am again. Like, that is bizarre. I remember watching that. How do you get over that? Like, why would somebody be doing that? Talking to themselves like in an argument? Weird. What are you doing? Is this probably just Johnny was probably just lazy sitting around. I'm not even interesting. I don't know how I wrote a whole paper about it, but I did go to the library. The coffee's done. See if I blow the fuse again. I went to the library. I found out the history of laziness. I found out that nobody's researched it before. There's a major gap in the research, and everybody who's a researcher is like, you find a gap like that, gold. All right, throwing it in the oven, already preheated. So here they are. These are from the other batch, but then there's more of the ones yeah.
Thank you.
There they are. You can take one, Martin, but you have to tell me a joke about the Boeing.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
How many Boeing employees does it take to change a light bulb? Answer, I don't know. Here's how many Boeing employees it takes to change a light bulb. A quality inspector to make sure the light bulb works, a functional tester to test the light bulb, the requisition officer to be able to order the light bulb, a mechanic to actually install the light bulb, and then you have to put the light bulb in stores, so it'll be stored so that the mechanic can get the light bulb when he needs it. And then you have to have the airlines come out and inspect it, and then the FAA needs to inspect it to make sure the light bulb works.
It's a joke, isn't it? It's a good one. It's true.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So how many people is that?
Endless.
I lost track. Oh, you gotta.
Yeah, who?
Okay, that includes the people who make the light bulb. Then you have to have people who ship the light bulb. Then you have to have people unload the truck and inspect the light bulb at the dock. And then you have to make sure you don't break it on the way to the airplane.
But who makes the light bulb?
Who makes the light bulb? Oh, that's made in China.